wà ní kúrò lọ́wọ́ pàṣẹ pé wọ́n fẹ́ àyípadà sílẹ̀ rẹ̀ ọ̀dúnkù tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní orílẹ̀ yìí. A lè sùn kápá ojú méjì ìgbé ní òru èdè mọ́jú wọ́n lọ sí ẹ̀sẹ̀ntà tó wà ní òkè ìjẹ̀bú bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n lọ fún àwọn oníṣẹ́ ibẹ̀ tábà sọ̀rọ̀ nípa òsì àbò ní rárá.
Across Nigeria today, a quiet but powerful political shift appears to be taking shape. A movement that many once dismissed as a regional surge is steadily transforming into a national wave. And at the center of that conversation is Peter Obi. For years, Nigerian politics followed a familiar pattern. Political strength was often tied to geography, ethnicity, and long-standing party structures. The North had its traditional power blocks, the South-West had its own political machinery, and alliances were usually built around these regional calculations. But something different seems to be happening now. In the North, many ordinary citizens are facing severe economic hardship. Rising food prices, insecurity in rural communities, unemployment among young people, and frustration with traditional political elites have created a growing appetite for change. Across several northern states, especially among the youth and urban population, conversations about governance are shifting away from ethnicity and toward competence. This is where Peter Obi's message is finding unexpected resonance. His political narrative has consistently focused on issues like accountability, reducing waste in government, investing in production rather than consumption, and prioritizing education and small businesses. These themes speak directly to everyday struggles across Nigeria, including in northern communities where farmers, traders, and young graduates are searching for practical solutions rather than political slogans. What makes this development remarkable is that the North was once considered politically distant from Obi's base of support. Yet recent grassroots mobilizations, rallies, and social media engagement suggest that many northern voters are now willing to listen. Young people in cities like Kano, Kaduna, and Jos increasingly frame politics around economic survival rather than ethnic alignment. For them, the question is simple: who can create opportunities, stabilize the economy, and provide a clearer future? And that question is opening doors that previously seemed closed. At the same time, another political development is unfolding further south. The South-West region, long regarded as the political stronghold of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has traditionally been dominated by powerful party structures and established political networks. For decades, electoral victories there relied heavily on loyalty to those structures. However, even in this political heartland, subtle shifts are beginning to emerge. Economic pressures are again playing a major role. Rising living costs, currency instability, and declining purchasing power have affected households across the region. Market traders, transport workers, civil servants, and young professionals are increasingly vocal about the need for governance that directly improves daily life. This environment creates an opportunity for alternative political voices. Peter Obi's approach, which emphasizes fiscal discipline, transparent leadership, and a focus on production, is beginning to attract attention among segments of the South-West population who previously aligned firmly with the ruling establishment. The shift is not necessarily about abandoning long-standing political loyalties overnight. Instead, it reflects a gradual process where voters are re-evaluating their expectations from leadership. Grassroots movements and civic groups are also playing an important role. Across several states, new political conversations are being driven by community networks, youth organizations, and digital platforms. These groups are increasingly less tied to traditional party structures and more interested in policies that address real economic concerns. This evolving political landscape explains why observers are beginning to describe Obi's rise as a cross-regional phenomenon. Rather than relying solely on elite political alliances, his support appears to be growing through decentralized citizen networks, people sharing ideas, organizing locally, and encouraging political participation from the ground up. That kind of organic growth can be difficult for established political systems to predict or control. It also signals a broader shift in Nigerian political culture. For decades, politics in the country has often been shaped by patronage systems where influence flows from powerful political figures down to local communities. But the increasing role of technology, youth activism, and independent civic engagement is slowly reversing that dynamic. Today, political energy is increasingly flowing upward from ordinary citizens. Young Nigerians, who make up a large majority of the population, are more connected than ever through social media platforms and digital communication. They debate policies, fact-check politicians, and organize campaigns with remarkable speed. This new political environment rewards leaders who can communicate clear ideas and credible plans for economic recovery and national development. Peter Obi's supporters often argue that his reputation for prudence in managing public finances, along with his emphasis on measurable economic goals, fits the expectations of this emerging generation of voters. Whether one agrees with that view or not, the impact of the conversation itself is significant. For the first time in many years, discussions about Nigerian politics are increasingly centered on governance metrics, productivity, debt management, industrial growth, and human capital development, rather than purely identity-based politics. If that trend continues, it could reshape how political influence is built across the country. The North's openness to alternative voices and the South-West's growing policy debates suggest that the old political map may no longer be as rigid as it once seemed. And that is why the current moment feels different. It is not simply about one politician expanding his reach. It is about a broader national conversation on leadership, accountability, and the future direction of Africa's largest democracy. As Nigeria moves closer to the next election cycle, the key question will not just be who controls traditional strongholds. The deeper question may be whether a new generation of voters is ready to redraw the political map entirely. And if that happens, the ripple effects could reshape Nigerian politics for years to come.